Hi, Sharon.
Hi there, Emily.
It's our last one
Yeah.
for Focusing 2 for sensitive people. This is class 6. We're going to kind of loop back around to look at the whole focusing process in a way, as you will have read or will read in the reading for this week. Anne and Barbara kind of distill out these 6 recommendations that are the kind of 6 things to keep in mind as you're focusing. They call that advanced focusing. And I think the reason they call it that is because, in a way, if you enter a focusing session with just these 6 things in mind and kind of take away, we've been working on a lot of details, right? The details of presence language and reflection, all this facilitative language. And I may have used the metaphor with you before of a lily pad, that's kind of what Anna Barbara did, was like if you needed to cross a pond, instead of making a big leap, where you could fall in, they've made a bunch of lily pads that you can use to know where you are in the process. So with these 6 recommendations, you can focus however you like. You can closely follow the menu, or you can just try going in and using the 6 recommendations just themselves and sensing what wants to happen next. But it's a more distilled down, it's like the bones of the focusing process. So some of you may even find it easier just to focus using these 6 recommendations. You'll see, you'll still want all the presence language. I mean, presence language is part of it, but you'll want the details because your companions may enjoy that kind of reflection. But so the 6 recommendations, they're going to all be familiar to you. But the first one is being in presence, which is both the act of just finding that place, that space in yourself, and then the presence language. I'm sensing something in me, or I'm hearing, seeing, feeling. So that's kind of the mother of them all. Without that, as you know, we can't really focus very well if we're not. We can neither we can't create the inner relationship with something in us, nor can we feel that bigger sense of the whole situation, the whole felt sense, unless we're in presence. So that's the first one. The second one is going slowly. So that's been a theme all along. Just pausing, sensing, taking time to sense if it's okay to be as it is, taking time to settle in with things. The third thing is sensing in the body. That's very familiar, right? Just sensing, describing, what happens when I describe it this way? Does the body like that, or does it have another way? As Gendlin said, that I read to you the other day, the felt sense is very, very picky about how it wants to be described. So it's our sensing in the body that tells us, have we got the right words, the weird little phrase that just scratches that felt sense itch. So being in presence, going slowly, sensing in the body, and staying in contact with the unclear edge. That's what makes focusing is going out beyond. It's presence at the edge of the known, where by virtue of our being present, the implicit can form into something explicit. We've talked about that what comes when we focus, it's not like there were little packages in there and we're sending in a package retrieval system and bringing it out. It forms by virtue of us being present. So staying at the edge. And then the 5th thing is holding a space for change by being what is, with what is. That's the radical acceptance piece. Holding a space for change by being with what is. Lots of things we do are in service of that. Like when we say, I'm sensing if it's okay to let this be as it is, as long as it needs to be. That's checking with myself. Am I okay being with what is right now? So that I can hold a space for this to shift if it wants, or does something in me have a problem with that? Another guest. And the last one, whatever feels like fresh air is a step, no matter what it looks like. So that's the kind of thing that we check in for during our focusing, and at the end when we sense, just, is there any fresh air? Does something feel possible that didn't feel possible before? And it can look all different kinds of ways. Sometimes that sense of fresh air comes after a session, when you find yourself in a kind of conversation, say, where maybe in the past you would have gotten triggered, and you suddenly realize, I'm not triggered. It's because you're walking around in a new world in which something has shifted, and now you're encountering situations where you experience yourself differently because of the shift. So for that last one, what feels like fresh air, it's like I'm saying yes to what's come. I'm letting it know it's welcome here too. So yeah, for our demo, I'll focus in this somewhat a little bit broader way. And if I use presence language, Sharon, she'll reflect the way we do. And I'll model the usual of requesting what might I like off this list. Like, do I want her to, acknowledge life forward energy, for example, or a spiritual knowing, if one comes. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So are you ready?
I am. Thank you. Yes.
And are you sitting comfortably?
Yes. Thank you. I am.
And can you hear me okay?
Yes.
And is there anything you would like from me as your companion?
I will take a short lead in.
Okay.
Just the bare bones.
Okay.
And I do think that some of these suggestions, like if I've said some stuff and you want to, and it feels right to say, yeah, there's something about that. That feels good. And also acknowledging the life forward energy, or if something sounds to you like an inner knowing, feel free, to point that out if I haven't caught that,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have an issue?
Yeah, I think I'd like to, it's this, you can just call it just this whole thing going on with my writing right now. Yeah. And I might talk about it a bit, but yeah.
Okay. And how many minutes signal would you like before the 10 minutes is up?
Oh, 2 is good. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So I'm starting the timer. Oh, there. So letting your awareness come to your body, your arms and hands, your legs and feet, and the contact of your body on what you're sitting on. And letting your awareness come inward into the inner area of your body, your throat, chest, stomach, and belly. And take your time to invite this whole thing about what's going on in your writing.
Just seeing if I can invite the whole felt sense of that. I can tell that going slowly is what's needed for that. So just taking time. Really taking it, not just going, I'm taking time. It's There's actually a difference there for me.
Yeah, really taking it.
Yeah, just settling in. Yeah. It's interesting. It's this kind of felt sense image. It's visual and physical. And it's like this almost like a tidal wave. Like I see the white page and the words that just comes up over me, like black words on the page. So it's like a feeling of being kind of almost bent backwards.
Yeah, you're sensing this kind of a felt sense image that's visual and physical, kind of like a tidal wave of the words coming up and over you, and your body bent back as that comes.
Mm-hmm. That brings a breath that my body says yes to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that brings a breath, and there's a yes.
So I guess that's a step. Yeah. Just recognizing that as a step.
Yeah, you're recognizing a step there. Mm-hmm.
And I'm noticing I'm kind of I'm feeling intrigued because I was actually looking for a feeling of overwhelm or, like, and I'm not feeling overwhelmed though. It's not like that's not there is not a feeling of overwhelm. So I'm just kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're surprised. There's not a feeling of overwhelm.
No. And now I'm more kind of, it's like I'm seeing the whole thing from the side, as if I'm seeing myself in profile. And those kind of like stylized waves that they have in Japanese calligraphy.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the page with all the words on it is coming up in a stylized way up in front of me like that. Curling, the wave is curling sort of right over my head. And I'm just kind of seeing that. I'm not like, that's...
Yeah, you're seeing that image like in a Japanese painting of the stylized wave that comes up and curls at the top and over your head, and there you are looking up.
Yeah, and I feel kind of open, kind of energized actually. Seeing that, just sitting here having all this come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're sensing energy in that and feeling that in your body.
Well, yeah, I mean, it actually feels good to just say, I feel energized. That feels good because I don't always feel energized. Yeah.
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 But I'm realizing now it's shifted a little bit. It's as if I'm still seeing myself in profile, and it's almost like we're looking at each other, like it almost like where it curls over at the top. It's like it doesn't exactly have a face, but it's like we're like looking at each other, kind of. We're sitting face to face, kind of.
Ah, yes, you're
Yeah.
seeing that you and this wave are sitting face to face.
Yes, and it has its own quality. It's almost, like when a puppy like faints, as in FEIN, faint, like they fake kind of, and oh my gosh, I can't believe my Microsoft auto update just in case that was showing up on the video, I had to turn that off. Okay, so like when a puppy goes, whoo, it kind of like leaps
Yeah.
forward and then it pulls back from its own self. It kind of pulls back. It's kind of like, it's got a playful quality to it.
So you're sensing this wave has a playful quality to it.
Yeah, like it could like break over me, but it's not going to. It's
Ah, you're aware that it could break over you, but it's not going to.
well, it's not so much me being aware, it's more it. It's like it's kind of letting me know, yeah, I could soak you, but I'm not going to.
Oh, it's letting you know that.
Yeah.
Ah,
Hmm.
ah.
But I'm just fascinated by this process because I'm seeing it like a movie. You know, I'm seeing all this is like outside me, like a movie, seeing myself out there and it
Mhm.
and something in me is, let me just look at this and see it. Yeah, no, that's what's next, is like something in me is kind of saying, you need to get something done with this here. You know, you took way too long to write your article this morning. You edited for 3 hours and it was inefficient and it's just got all this stuff to say, about, and it's like this process is, you're not getting to the problem here. There's a problem and you're not getting to, that's it.
Oh,
There's a problem and you're not getting to it.
so another guest has come. And it's saying there is a problem and you're not getting to it. And we have 2 more minutes.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I'm just going to check if this new one knows I'm here. It's like, yeah, I know you're here. And what use are you? What use is that?
Ooh. Yeah.
Like, well, kind of like, you're the one that took so long. um, yeah. So I'm just acknowledging it there, letting it know I get it, that it doesn't see me as, it doesn't perceive me as like a present, competent, helpful, whatever, adult. Um,
Hmm.
that there's, it's kind of settling a little. It's like it's saying, how are you ever going to get a book written if it takes you 3 hours to edit an article? It's just sitting there like, ah. So I'm just letting it know I hear that it's, that's what's got its knickers in a twist. It's like it's really concerned, like,
Yeah.
if it takes you this long to write an article, how are you going to write a book?
Yeah. It's really concerned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm just letting it know I hear that, and that then I can come back to this focusing space with this whole issue of the writing, and if it has more to say, I'm just looking at my sheet one more time and just seeing. It just feels, when I look at that step 6, whatever feels like fresh air is a step. It's not step 6 because it's not a step. It's a 6th recommendation, I should say. Yeah. Whatever like feels like fresh air is a step. I just, what comes is I want to just honor that whole thing with the wave. There was a playfulness and a meeting there. There was some feeling like there's a relationship there and there's more. That somehow that encounter and this playful kind of wave of words, that there's more there.
There's more there in that encounter, you and that playful wave of words that you hadn't met before.
Yeah. And so just thanking all that's come, and yeah, thanking my body and my body's process, and thanking you.
Welcome.
That was different than, it's really different. Yeah. Yeah. It kind of feels like something got moved around in there, So I'm just kind of making a mental note to just kind of keep an eye on what it feels like to write, next time if, when I walk around in that space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it feels like something shifted. Yeah.
Feeling that shift and kind of letting letting it, I don't know, imagining it into the future.
Yeah. Is there anything about that process that's here for you wanting to be said?
Hmm. Yeah, it was such an interesting process with two parts. So with the relationship with the wave when he started, and then a protector just worried about something. But,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I'm not sure I've ever had that before where I've watched like a movie, like myself. Clearly it was me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because hearing you say that, anyway, yeah, I have to go back and be with this more because the wave felt like a something, but it didn't exactly feel like a part. It more felt like it was the whole felt sense of it's the writing itself. It was its own thing, kind of.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that count. It didn't feel like a stopped process or anything like that. It felt like its own, like that was the felt sense of my writing. It's a subtle distinction, but it's really interesting. Yeah. So anyway, to be continued. Thank you very much.
You're
And
most welcome.
thanks to all of you who have been watching these. And, we'll see you soon for our last class of Focusing 2.
And I'll be back from India.
Right. You'll be back. That's right. Because you won't. That's right. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.